It's the San Antonio Brahmas Roundup with interim head coach Payton Pardee on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're back on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix with the day off. James Pledger producing this extravaganza. And we appreciate you coming along for the ride, especially right now because it's always a thrill to talk with the interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, Payton Pardee, who's joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. And Coach Pardee, first of all, how you doing on this hump day?
I tell you what, I'm not going to lie. I'm normally used to this show being later in the week when we play on a Sunday. So my days are off a little bit, but I promise you this, I'm doing phenomenal.
Oops, hang on one second. It sounds like we lost the signal for you there for just a second. We'll get it back. And Payton Pardee joining us. There you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can y'all hear me?
I got you now.
Perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got you. All right, looking at the game on Friday night, big game. Our good friend Marcy Grace was there singing a bunch of songs, and so that was impressive. And you guys, you keep telling us your team's improving, and I tell you what, I think we saw it on Friday night.
No, I appreciate you saying that. Friday night this past week was, like you said, it was an unbelievable environment. The fans were incredible. Obviously still have some things to clean up, but I'm really, really proud of our team. I think we took, several massive steps forward in a lot of areas. And like I said, that, our team, the one thing that I will absolutely, be forever grateful to them for is they fight till the very, very end. And I'm really, really optimistic and excited to see the progress that we're going to make off of last week's game going into this weekend against the Showboats.
Well, Coach Pardee, just looking at, we always talk quarterbacks, but Kevin Hogan had a really nice game for you. Is that an opportunity or just a guy getting an opportunity and taking advantage of it?
I think absolutely. And, I'm sure everybody thinks I'm, crazy, when I've said in the past, that we have a really, really talented quarterback room. We've got three really, really good quarterbacks. And, Kevin Hogan, I'm so proud of what he has been able to do and the progress he's shown, dating back to camp to where we are right now going into week 8. And I really think what we are all starting to see is, that confidence and comfort begin to show up with him in this system. And he's truly, I cannot sing his praises enough. He's a phenomenal leader of men. He's a very talented quarterback. And I'm really, really proud. I think he had a really great game and did a lot of great things that don't always show up on the stat sheet. But I'm really looking forward to see his progression into his third week as a starter.
Visiting with Payton Pardee, the interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas. And, Coach, I would imagine as a head coach, even as a coordinator, if you get a little confidence in your quarterback, things just feel a little bit better all the way around.
Absolutely. And I think, with Kevin specifically, what you saw in that game is, you saw a lot of things that you really look forward and hope to see, in a quarterback. And that being, I thought he moved the pocket really well. He delivered the ball well on time, was really, overall really good with his decisions. And then, the element and dynamic that everybody always has to prepare for is his run threat and run ability. And I think that's something that a lot of people, may or may not take, for granted with him. But I'm really, really pleased with what he did in that game and just his strong presence and leadership on the sideline. I'm really, really proud of Kevin.
And, Coach Pardee, a good quarterback always needs a good running game. And that showed up in Friday night's game last week too. That's got to be impressive. Like I said, it looked like everything is starting to take shape for the Brahmas.
Absolutely. Progress, and especially with everything that our team has been through this year, it's something that we've placed a huge emphasis on, with our team is we can't be 100%, result oriented. You have to trust the process. You have to focus on improving each and every week. And, I know I've talked about with you guys as well as with our team, football is a lot like life in the fact of it's about trying to get better each and every day, learn from the mistakes that we make, try not to make them twice, and continue to progress and get better. And I think we're, like I said, I'm really proud of our team because we're starting to see that, begin to show up. And you said it best, man, that run game was electric on Friday. And I tip my hat to the offensive line and to our running backs. And, obviously Kevin had some great runs in there. So that absolutely is a huge part of a dynamic and successful offense, in my opinion.
Well, Payton, I think the fact that I know you feel better about things, you see the progression, but the players can see that as well. And they've got to feel a little bit better about what they're doing. I would imagine getting ready for this game on Friday night, they've got a little more confidence too, because all of a sudden things just seem to be clicking a little better than they were.
Absolutely. And, that's one thing I will say about this team is, regardless of our record, this was probably the best week of preparation we've had. And this team, they have a never quit mentality. The attitude was in a really good spot this week overall when looking at the team collectively. And I'm really, really excited about the direction that we're heading with this football team.
Payton Pardee, the interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, joining us here on the Blitz. And Payton, you guys have the Memphis Showboats coming into town. What's so nice about the end of the schedule? I know it was a rough start because a lot of road games, but you finish out at home. You got 3 games left. They're all at home. The Memphis Showboats this Friday night. I know you have nothing to do with it, so this is probably a knucklehead question, but do you like playing on Friday nights?
I've actually been asked that before, and I'll be honest with you, I actually do. I myself, I was a part of the Legacy XFL back in 2023, and we had a Thursday night game during that season. And I think the variety of game days, I really think is something unique. And especially, I said this to the referees before the game on the sideline in San Antonio. There's nothing more neat than professional football and a Friday Night Lights style in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. So, it's definitely unique and new for us, obviously, this year, but it's something that I've really enjoyed. And I think it provides an extra layer of entertainment for the fans and for everybody around the state of Texas and regionally that's watching us. I think it's a great addition.
Well, I mean, the cherry on top there, Payton, is the fact that you guys are the only game on TV. You're on Fox, and everybody's eyes are on the San Antonio Brahmas, and they certainly will be this week against the Memphis Showboats. I don't know. Does that? You probably don't think about it, but I mean, you guys, the spotlight's on when you're playing on Friday night.
Absolutely, and for me personally, I'm just excited that we have another game and that we get to play. But I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a great opportunity for our players. Obviously, our roster, we have guys from all over the country. And I think, that is a really, valuable thing for them and their families where they can watch, their sons and, daughters and brothers and whatnot play. And so I'm really excited about it. And then, obviously, it's, like I said, it's special to be able to play pro football in San Antonio on Friday.
Well, I got to tell you, Payton, do you have to catch yourself sometimes now? I know the replay officials get under your skin a little bit, or they did the one time. I mean, do you think about that now?
I tell everybody I consider myself to have a very energetic and positive attitude. The one thing that I'd say I might be trying to do a little bit more is choose my words more carefully. But, at the end of the day, I tell all the refs, I do my very best. I like to think I'm respectful. And, I think we have a great working relationship. All the referee crews that I've been able to work with this season, we try to have a little bit of fun during the game.
Well, I tell you what, Payton, I think every Brahma fan will tell you that they would prefer you do that because they're probably screaming at the TV or screaming there at the stadium the same way you are. Like, what are you thinking? So I think it's okay. I think they'll give you a pass on that for sure. The Memphis Showboats, what do you got to prepare for with these guys?
They're a unique team. They're in somewhat of a similar position to us. Obviously they've had some quarterback changes on their own, an offensive style change, and different personnel moves and things of that nature. And, what I'll say about the Showboats, briefly about their offense and defense is offensively, I think they run the football very well. And that's something that they do at a high level. I think they've got dynamic playmakers on the perimeter, and really, kind of like us in a manner. They've got quarterbacks like multiple that are very talented, and that's kind of led to a little bit of a spark for them in the back end of the season. And then on the defensive side, they're a unique structure as far as how they align. They're really the only team in our league that majors and bases out of a 3-down front. And so that's been fun for us this week to be able to prepare for that, because it's unique. You know what I mean? Some of the scheme and stuff that takes place, you have to make slight modifications to try to attack what you're getting from their defense. But I think on all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams, I think we're really excited about the challenge this week. And I'm personally really excited about how we match up.
Well, I've got to ask you, Payton, as we visit with Payton Pardee, the interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Payton, you mentioned you told Pledge before you came on the air you were impressed with the crowd on Friday night. I think Friday night's a good night for folks in San Antonio. You go out, you can have some fun on a Friday night, maybe not have to get up so early on Saturday morning. You guys need a big crowd. That always helps, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I can't emphasize this enough. What the city of San Antonio has done for us, in our 2 home games that we've had has been truly, it's been spectacular. And I can't thank everybody that's come to the games enough for just not only coming, but man, they're rowdy and they're loud and energetic. And it is a difference maker. And it's something that's special. And I think it's something that also sets apart the San Antonio Brahmas and our home venue being the Alamo Dome. And I just want to encourage the fans. We are looking forward to putting on a show on Friday night. And we're really, really excited to get back home.
All right, Payton, I need you to do me a favor. I'm going to put you to work here for just a minute. We've got a family 4-pack of tickets to give away for Friday night's game. You got to tell what's your favorite number?
Shoot, my favorite number, I'll go 5.
Caller number 5, you will win a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Brahmas take on the Memphis Showboats this Friday night inside the Alamo Dome. So all you have to do, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Coach Pardee, we appreciate you joining us, sir, and I tell you, best of luck to you on Friday night.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Payton Pardee, the interim head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, joining us courtesy of Buyers Barricades Guest Line.